Good morning! Good morning mga ka-ETUlay, ka-tech quiz. Today is April 1. It's April Fool's Day pero hindi po tayo mag-fool today because we're going to do the ICT programming for ito po, no? Tutor Bell from SDO Bataan. No? So, ayan po. So, from 11 to 12, magkakasama-sama po tayo. No? Share ko lang po yung aking slide. Ayan, share na po. Ayan, so magkasama-sama po tayo, no, para sa isang oras na naman po ng talakayan, no, regarding Java programming. Ayan. Wait po share ko lang po ulit yung aking screen. Share ko po. Ayan. Okay, so ayan. Kita niyo po ba yung aking screen? Ayan. Ayan po, no? So, ayan. O, hindi po yata nyo nakikita yung aking screen. No? So, today is actually quarter 3, week 7 po. No? So, we're going to discuss inheritance in Java. So, ano po ba yung inheritance na yan? So, we're going to discuss further po yan today. No? So, yan. Okay. So for today po, so you're going to learn about the concept of inheritance. No? Ano ba yung inheritance na yan? Ito po ba yung namamana? No? So we have to learn also how to extend these classes, how to override override superclass methods, how to access the superclass methods, the use of the this reference, and the use of the final keyword. No? So, batiin ko po lahat po ng nakikinig at nanonood today. No? So, lalong-lalo na po yung aking mga kasamahan sa paggalanggang National High School, both the academic and the TVL. No? From kay Sir Jack, Ma'am Ara, no? So lahat po sila. So nakaraos na po tayo ng 2 weeks ng halos ng face-to-face, no? So we're actually preparing na po for the graduation, no? So nagkakaroon na po ng meeting for the graduation. So sana po magkasama-sama tayo hanggang dulo. So today po, so we're going to discuss inheritance. So ano po ba yung inheritance na yan? Yan, no? So, kaway-kaway po, mag-comment kung nandiyan po kayo para po mag-greet ko po man lang kayo. So, ano ba yung inheritance na yan? So, kung sa business, no? So, o kaya naman sa social science, so this is yung tinatawag nating mana-mana, no? So, ano ba yung mga namana mo? Ano ba yung na-inherit mo sa nanay mo, sa tatay mo? Is it the same as inheritance po sa Java programming? So, ang inheritance po sa Java, it's actually a concept po, no, that there is this one class that you may be able to inherit or assume kung ano man yung behavior and the attributes ng class na to. Like, for example, no? So, yung relationship ng isang father and son. So most likely ang father, no? So since ito yung root, no? So most likely marami po siyang mai-inherit yung son sa kanya, like from the physical attributes, like for example yung mata, no, yung ilong, no, so yung hugis ng pisngi, no, so yan po yung mga usual na attributes na minsan naman yung mga katangian, like for example kung friendly, no, yung height, no, namamana po din yan, no, so it's actually the same, no, the same concept po iyan ng inheritance in Java. Okay. So, but for Java programming, meron tayong tinatawag na unified modeling language, no? So para po mas maintindihan ninyo ang concept ng inheritance, let's take a look at that yung tinatawag nating UML or the Unified Modeling Language. So ano ba 'yan? So for example, no, yung ating employee na class, no? So ano ba yung mga attributes niyan? Pwede yang merong employee number, meron yang salary, meron yang ano pa ba? May SSS, may PhilHealth, no? Meron yang SSS, PhilHealth, meron yang pag-ibig number, no? Karamihan po sa employee meron pong mga ganyan, no? So, yan yung mga attributes na pwede natin gamitin. For example, ako, I am an employee. So, since I am an employee, mai-inherit ko kung ano man yung mga attributes na meron ang isang employee. Okay? So, magkakaroon ako din ng employee number, magkakaroon ako ng salary, magkakaroon ako ng PhilHealth number, magkakaroon ako ng pag-ibig number, no? So lahat po 'yan magkakaroon ako. And lahat po ng attributes na meron sa isang employee class, no? So mai-inherit ko 'yan. Including po yung kung ano man yung data types na meron, no? So sa isa database, no? So makikita po natin na mai-inherit ko lahat 'yan kapag ginamitan ng tinatawag na Unified Modeling Language. Sa Unified Modeling Language po kasi, naka-specify po dyan lahat ng attributes at lahat ng methods. So, kita nyo po dito na empnum, empsum, empsal, that is the attributes. Yung nakikita nyo po sa baba, that is the method. Method to get the employee number, method to get the employee salary, no? But para magamit yung get employee salary, I need to have an employee number and I need to have a salary. Magkano ba ang sinusweldo ko? So, in this way, makikita nyo po that there is actually inheritance na tinatawag. So, using the Unified Modeling Language. Para po mas makita nyo po, no, yung Unified Modeling Language. So, for example, no, so another example, aside from the employee, we have this base class, no? Ang base class natin is animal, no? A dog is an animal, di po ba? Okay. So, marami tayong klase ng dog. Pwede tayong magkaroon ng iba-ibang klase ng dog. But, kahit pa po maiba-iba ng klase ang dog, no? So, meron tayong tinatawag na base class. Okay? Ang base class, meron po iyang certain properties at certain methods. Meron ang isang animal. Okay? So, in this case, ang lahat po ng dog, no, mayroon yung kulay. Merong may brown, merong may white, meron yung mix, no? Meron yung mix, okay? So, meron din pong height, no? So, ano yung height ng inyong dog, no? Meron din pong length, may haba. Meron ding weight, okay? So, meron din po siyang weight, no? So, and then, meron din pong mga methods ang ating base class, no? So, meron din tayong methods. Like, lahat ng dog could sit down, lahat ng dogs could lay down, lahat ng dogs could shake, no? Shake their tail, shake their body, and then, a dog can also come. Pwede nating tawagin para pumunta sa atin. Di po ba? So, that is methods. So, both yan, the properties and the methods are actually inherited. Okay? So, kung nagkaroon ng instance, no? So, nagkaroon tayo ng ibang dog. Okay? So, in this case, nagkaroon tayo ng another object. So, our base class is the dog. But this dog actually na-inherit po na yan sa superclass natin na animal, because a dog is an animal. But in this case, para lang mas simple, this is the dog, and then we have an instance of a dog. Okay, so we have another object of the dog. Okay, so this dog could have another class or another object or another instance of a dog. Okay, so ibang klaseng dog. But the same properties could be inherited, no? So ito po yung tinatawag nating inheritance, no? So could be inherited by ang pangalan po ng ating dog is Bobby, no? So si Bobby na dog could have the same properties as the base class na dog. Hindi po ba? So, kaya lang, this color, ang color niya could be different. So, in this case, it is yellow. Okay? Pwede ring maiba yung ating color sa ating base class, no? So, pwedeng brown yung kulay ng ating Bobby na dog. Okay? So, yung ating height, no? Yung ating height ng ating dog could be different from the base class. Okay? So, pwedeng ang length niya is 35 inches. Okay? So, another property na pwedeng ma-inherit, no, sa instance of our object is the weight. So, pwedeng 24 pounds. Okay. But the methods would actually be just the same. Okay. All of the dogs could actually sit, could actually lay down, could actually shake, no, their tail, no, or their body, or pwede natin siyang tawagin could come, no? Okay? Okay. Okay. So, sa Java po, no, ano ba yung syntax ng ating inheritance? Okay? So, we have the class derived class, no? And then ang keyword po natin diyan is extend, no? Yung pag-instantiate ng ating object is through the keyword extends. Extends and then yung ating base class. Class derived, extends, and then yung ating base class, no? And then opening a square bracket, yung methods, and then the fields, and then closing square bracket. So, iyon po yung ating syntax. So, this is an example. Okay. So, this is another syntax, no, ng ating inheritance. Pwede naman gamitin natin yung superclass. Okay? Class, superclass, opening square bracket, and then yung ating mga superclass data variables, superclass member function, closing square bracket, class, subclass, meron pa rin yung keyword na extends, and then superclass. And then yung ating closing, opening again ng ating square bracket, subclass data variables, and then yung ating subclass to be followed by the subclass, and then whatever function that you may want to use, no? So this is an example. So this is a sample program. So in this case, we have the class employee, okay? So yung ating mga attributes is yung salary na 40,000, okay? So ang i-extend natin, ang pangalan ng derived class natin is programmer. Ito na po yung keyword, extends. No? So this is how we inherit. This is how we instantiate the employee na superclass. No? So itong superclass natin is the employee. Ang pangalan ng ating ide-derive or yung ini-instantiate natin na object is programmer, which is actually anong ma-inherit niya? Yung ating salary, no? So may salary na siya, but here pwede nating dagdagan. Okay? So in this case, dinagdagan natin siya ng bonus. So aside from the salary, nagdagdag tayo ng another attribute, no? Na specifically for the programmer, no? Na mayroon siyang bonus, na meron siyang attribute na bonus. So aside from the salary, meron siyang attribute na bonus, okay? No, 10,000. Okay, so in this case, yung ating programmer, in-instantiate na naman po natin siya, no? Okay, so gumawa tayo ng instance of an object. So nagkaroon tayo ng new variable na programmer. Okay, para ma-print natin, we want to print programmer salary is P. Okay? Kasi yung ating in-instantiate, yung ating pangalan is P. So P dot salary, and then yung bonus of programmer is P dot bonus. So kinuha na natin yung 40,000, yung salary, and then nagkaroon pa tayo ng another attribute na bonus. Okay, so kaya naging dalawa po ito. Yung ating employee na super class, no, ay meron lang attribute na salary. But in this case, nung in-extend natin, nilagyan pa rin natin siya ng attribute na bonus. So, kaya nung dinisplay natin, we could already have meron na po tayong two na attributes. So, meron tayong salary and the bonus. No? So, mamaya po pupuntahan natin si IntelliJ. Pakita ko lang muna po para hindi tayo maguluhan. Okay, so this is another example. So, this is, meron tayong super class na animal. Okay, so ang alam natin sa animal, no? So, an animal could eat. Yun yung ating method, no? Nung in-extend natin, no, yung animal, so dog. Okay? So kanina, 'di ba? From dog in-extend natin. So in this case, ang ginawa natin animal, no? So ang animal, nilagyan natin aside from eat na method, nilagyan natin siya ng bark. Okay, sa dog. Okay, so kaya dalawa na ngayon yung method ng dog natin na class. Nag-extend siya, di po ba? So aside from it, meron na tayong bark. Okay. And then, okay, so dito tinesting yung inheritance. Nagkaroon tayo ng testing. Okay. So tinesting natin. So pinakita natin that we have this dog. Wait lang po. Okay, so we have the dog. And then D equal new dog. Okay, so D could bark and D could eat. No? So naging dalawa yung method natin. So that is how you do inheritance. That's how the concept of inheritance works in Java programming. Now you may ask, ano po ba yung importansya, or what is the importance, or what is the purpose of doing the inheritance in Java? Ano yung what is the advantage of using inheritance? So there is this so-called reusability. The word is reusability, meaning nandyan na yung another method, tatawagin na lang natin siya, but still, kahit nandun siya sa ibang class, pwede natin siyang tawagin because in-inherit natin siya. Okay? So, ganun po siya. So, there is the reusability, and kung merong reusability, that means hindi ka na kailangang mag-recode, maglagay ng program ulit or mag-coding ng parehas lang naman, no? So kasi parehas lang naman yung sa animal. Animal could eat, no? So but the dog can bark. Okay? So we have different animals. Like for example, marami pa po, no? So in this case, ginawa lang natin is the dog. Okay? So but na-inherit niya. So ibig sabihin, hindi na tayo gagawa ng code for the eat method. Kasi e-extend na lang natin siya. In-extend natin yung class na dog to get the method eat na galing sa animal. Okay, so there is reusability and there could be less code. So that is the advantage of having to use or using the inheritance, no? So, Alex, okay? Okay po. So later punta po tayo sa ayan nga no. So from our base class, no? That is used as a basis for inheritance. No, yung base class natin, that is the basis for inheritance. Like yung kanina, yung ating base class is the animal, no? Yung ating dog, no? Pero in-instantiate natin ng into another dog. Okay? And then yung ating employee, di ba? So, nagkaroon tayo ng base class. So, meron tayong pinaghuhugutan, kung baga. Okay, so yun yung ating base class. A basis, a class that is used as a basis for inheritance. And then we have the so-called derived class, a class that inherits from base class, no? So, dapat laging merong base class, no? So, dapat meron tayong base class. Kung walang base class, there would be no inheritance at all, no? So, dapat meron tayong base class because we can only derive the derived class from the base class. Excuse me. But, no, so baka po may makikita kayong mga books, mapapanood kayo ng video na merong tinatawag na superclass, no, and subclass. Superclass is the same as the base class. Subclass is the same as derived class, no? So base class or superclass. Derived class or subclass. Parehas lang po yan, no? So, parehas lang po yan. A subclass is derived from a superclass. A subclass is derived from the base class, no? So, and then the base class is actually the superclass, no? So, that is used as a basis for inheritance. So, baka po malito kayo. Okay. Okay, so how can we override? So ang tanong, pwede ko bang i-override yung superclass methods? Ibig sabihin ng override, hindi ko na siya gagamitin, no? Hindi ko na siya, ibaliwalain ko na lang siya, i-override, di po ba? We have this so-called polymorphism, no? So a term meaning many forms, no? Sa polymorphism, pwede mong hindi gamitin yung method na para for example para lang sa animal. Like for example, ano ba? Uh, sa vehicle, no? So pwede mong i-override yung mga ibang methods niya. Okay? So mamaya makikita natin how do we do overriding, no? But the main theory po niyan is the polymorphism. When you create a subclass by extending an existing class, the new subclass contains data and methods that were defined in the original superclass. Any child class object all the attribute of its parent. However, the superclass data fields and methods are not entirely appropriate for the subclass method. So ito 'yon, no? Ito yung word na 'yon eh. Hindi naman lahat appropriate for the class for the subclass object. In this case, you want to override the parent class members, no? So pwede po iyan through polymorphism. Okay? Halimbawa, hindi naman lumalangoy. All animals, sabi mo, meron ka doon sa superclass mo na lumalangoy. Pero yung sa akin, hindi naman lumalangoy. Okay, nagko-crawl yung animal ko. So, can I do that? Can I override swimming from crawling? Yes, pwede po yan through overriding the superclass methods. So, hindi naman po lahat. Like for example, sa totoong buhay, no, ang tatay mo ang tatay, for example, ako na lang po, no, ang tatay ko, ang lolo ko ay matatangkad, ang tatay ko hindi masyadong matangkad, ang nanay ko ay hindi rin masyadong matangkad, no. So kaya ako, no, hindi rin ako masyadong matangkad, na-inherit ko. But, no, so merong mga na-override. Like for example, yung katangusan ng ilong, no? So pwedeng hindi mo yan namana sa kanilang dalawa. Okay? Pwedeng sa mother side mo na namana yan. Okay? So that is overriding. Okay? So pwede po iyan. Okay. So we have different types of inheritance. Ito po yan. Okay, so we have different types of inheritance. We have the single inheritance, we have the multiple inheritance, we have multi-level inheritance, we have a hierarchical inheritance, and we have the hybrid inheritance. What's the difference? Okay, sa single inheritance, ibig sabihin isa lang yung gusto mong kunin from the superclass. Isang method, isang attribute, so single inheritance. Multiple inheritance, gusto mong kunin lahat, whatever attributes, whatever methods na meron si superclass, gusto mong kunin lahat. That is multiple inheritance. Multi-level inheritance, iba-iba, no? Iba-iba. Like for example, sa pag paglalakad, hindi ang paglalakad ko ganito. Okay? Ang ang pagkanta ko ganito, no? So may multi-level, no? So iba-iba. Okay, so parang multiple intelligence. Not everybody can paint, not everybody can draw, not everybody can do the program. Not everybody can actually dance, no? So not everybody could actually sing, no? Very well, no? So multi-level tayo. Okay, so yun po yun. So may mga level na pwede mong kunin, pwede mong i-inherit, pwede namang hindi mo i-inherit. Okay? And then we have hierarchical. Ibig sabihin, may hierarchy. Like for example, hindi ito yung kukunin mong hierarchy, yung sa kasunod, no? O yung dun sa kasunod, no? Okay? And then we have the hybrid. When you say hybrid, it's a mix of everything. Pwedeng multiple, pwedeng nagkasama yung multiple and the multi-level. Pwedeng nagkasama yung hierarchical at saka multiple. So hybrid inheritance. So that's the okay. So kanina sabi natin how you do the overriding. Okay? So this is the keyword. Ang keyword po is final keyword. Okay? So if you don't want other classes to inherit from a class, use the final keyword. So that's what you do in overriding. No? So you do the keyword final. Okay, so in this here is the example in using final keyword. No? So for example, we have final class vehicle. And then class car extends vehicle. Okay. Bakit po ito mag-generate ng error? Bakit? Because nilagyan mo ng keyword na final dun sa class na vehicle. And then, in-inherit mo, in-extend mo dun sa object na car, hindi po pwede kasi nilagyan niya na ng final. So, ibig sabihin, ng paglalagay ng final dyan, ayaw kong merong gumamit ng aking methods and ng aking objects na meron ako. Meron si superclass na vehicle, ayaw niyang ipagamit yung methods at saka attributes sa kahit ano pa mang object, sa kahit ano pa mang instance, sa kahit ano pa mang instance. So the keyword is final. Lagyan natin ng final, no? Napakasakim ni vehicle, ayaw magpagamit, na ayaw magpa-instantiate. Okay? So this will generate an error. So you have to check also the class na gusto nyong i-inherit, baka naman merong word na final, 'di ba? So dapat walang final na nakalagay before the name of the superclass, the name of the base class. Because kapag merong final, you can never inherit or you cannot instantiate or you cannot derive hindi pwedeng magkaroon ng derived class from this base class na vehicle because nilagyan niya ng word na final before the class final. No? Merong final na word. So this will generate an error. No? Okay. So this is a sample program. So we have we have the base class or the super class employee. Okay, ang attributes na meron si super class or si base class na employee is empnum and empsal. So merong dalawa, employee number and employee salary. And then we have the method get empnum. Okay, and then ni-return si empnum. And then we have the method, the get amp sal. So meron tayong get amp sal. Ni-return yung amp salary. Okay. We have the setting of the employee number. Amp num is equal to num. Okay. And then we have set the salary, amp sal. So this is equal po, no? Nagkamali lang po. Amp num equals num. Okay. And then, so yung amp sal natin galing sa sal. Okay? So, mamaya punta po tayo sa IntelliJ para dire-diretso lang po tayo. Pagkita ko po later. Okay, so meron pang isang importanteng bagay po na meron when it comes to inheritance is the kung meron tayong keyword na final, we also have this so-called this reference. So ano ba ang role ni this reference? No? So reference, this is a reference. Ang tawag po sa kanya is reference. No? So it is an object's memory address reference. Kung baga, we want to refer to something. We want to refer to a memory address. No? So gagamitan siya natin ng reserve word in Java na this. The reference to an object that is passed to any object's non-static method. Okay, so yan po yung gagamitan natin. This. So here is an example. Okay. So in this case, we have the method get amp num, no? Written amp num, public int get amp num, return, no? So we have this return this dot amp num. So ibig sabihin, we are referring to doon sa ni-return natin na kinol doon sa method get amp num. We want, we are referring, in this case, we are, yung ibig sabihin ng this dot amp num, we are referring to the amp num na tinawag sa method na get amp num. Okay. So this is another example of the this reference. So you may encounter this lalo na sa pagka gumagamit po tayo ng inheritance. So this is another example. So we have the class, no, student. Okay, so ang attributes po niya is student num and then we have the GPA. Okay, so we have the method to get yung ating student num and then the GPA. So we want, if we want to refer to stu num, no? So yung stu num is equal to the stud num. So nagkamali lang din po, may di po yan, no? So this dot stud num is equal to stud num, no? So yung stud num is the one that we are referring here, yung nasa taas. After yung ating dineclare, no? So yung ating declaration na private integer stud num, no? So this dot stud num is equal to stud num. Okay, this dot GPA is equal to GPA. So ibig ko sabihin, we are referring here doon sa student number na nilagay po natin doon sa class na student. Okay? So if we want to show this one, so student number plus studnum, GPA is plus GPA. So we are referring to the memory address. Ayan. So before po tayo dyan, punta po tayo sa IntelliJ before we take the quiz. Okay, so here is an example of our animal. So in this case, so nakita po ito, no? We have the public class animal. And then, nagkaroon po tayo ng another class na in-extend natin. Ang tawag natin doon is pig. Diba? And then, we have another class na galing sa superclass na animal. Ang pangalan ng ating derived class is dog. So, we have pig, dog, and we have, okay, so dalawa lang. Okay, so we have the pig and the dog. So, if you will notice here, nagkaroon po tayo ng dog here. And then we have the pig. Kasi in-extend natin from the animal. Okay po? Gets po ba? Kaya po nagkaroon dyan. So, nagkaroon tayo ng derived class na dog and then yung pig. No? So, we have the pig and we have the dog. Okay po? So, yan. Tulad po nito, no? So, we have, in this case, we have the pig, no? So, galing siya sa animal na superclass. And then, yung derived class is the pig. Okay, so ang method na meron si pig is that the animal sound, no? So, we have wee na sound, no? And then, yung dog, okay, may wee. But, in this case, pwede natin na yung animal sound ng dog ay hindi wee. Okay, so in this case kasi para to sa pig, 'di ba? Yung wee. Okay, in this case, pwede nating palitan yung animal sound na method, hindi yung hindi yung pang pig, hindi rin yung sa animal, but ang sa dog is bow wow. Okay, gets po ba? Okay, so we have the superclass animal, and then in-extend po natin, nagkaroon tayo ng derived class na pig, and then nagkaroon tayo ng derived class na dog. Galing sa superclass na animal. Okay, so meron po siyang dalawa. Meron siyang method, ang method na common sa superclass na animal is the animal sound. But yung animal sound ng pig is not actually the same as the superclass. Okay? So, dito, dineclare natin yung animal sound ng pig as wee. Okay? And then, yung sa dog, meron na-inherit natin yung animal sound. But this time around, it is bow wow. Okay? Bow wow na siya. Okay po? So, ganun po siya. So, nakita niyo po yung value, nakita niyo po yung importance when we use the inheritance, no? Yung nai-inherit natin yung methods and attributes, pero pwede nating i-override. Pwede nating palitan, no? So, pwede natin siyang palitan. For example, in this case, the method na animal sound, no? Hindi naman kasi parehas ng sound ang pig at saka ang dog, di po ba? So, pwede nating palitan. Pero, both are animal, no? So, pwede niyang parehas sila ng height, ay meron silang attributes na height, meron silang weight, meron silang eye color, no? The same po kaninang diniscuss natin sa presentation, no? So, pero pwede silang magkaiba ng method when it comes to animal sound. Same method, pero iba yung ginagawa ng method. Okay po. Okay? So, this is another example. Ito po yan, no? So, we have the superclass animal 2. Okay? So, sa animal 2, we have, in this case, nilagyan natin final. Okay, the keyword is final. So, ibig sabihin, yung name, yung brain, yung body, yung size, yung weight. No? Hindi pwedeng ma-inherit ng derived class. Bakit? Kasi nilagyan po natin siya ng keyword na final. Okay? So, whatever brain, whatever body, whatever size, whatever weight, hindi pwedeng makuha ng derived class dahil nilagyan natin ng word na final. Tanggalin natin kasi we want, pero gusto ko lang pong ipakita inyo that there is this final keyword. Okay, tanggalin po natin. So, in this case, tanggalin natin yung final. Okay, para ma-inherit natin yung attributes. Kasi magkaka-error, di po ba? Okay, so tanggalin natin. We want to inherit. Pare-parehas naman na animal yan. There is brain, there is body, size. And then there is weight. Okay, alisin natin po yung word na final, no? So, para ma-inherit, no? So, kasi pag nilagyan natin yan ng final, hindi na po natin ma-inherit yan. Ma-override. Ayan, no? So, ayan. So, public animal 2, no? So, string name, brain. So, that name is equal to name. So, ito po yung ating sinasabi ko kanina, no? Yung this, no? So, ibig sabihin, yung name, ilalagay natin as reference, this, that name, this, that brain, this, that body, this, that size, this, that weight, no? So, in this case, ang method po is meron tayong it, meron tayong move, no? And then, we have yung ating method, get name, get brain, get body, get size, get weight, no? So, ito ang mga methods. Okay? So, ito po siya. Saan na yun? Ay, wala. Ayan. Ayan na, no? So, yung sa animal to. In this case, so ito pa, example naman, so from the animal to, yung animal to, di po ba? E-extend natin siya from the superclass animal to, extend natin, ang gagamitin nating derived class ngayon is fish. Okay. Remember, ang ating, it could have brain, the fish could have brain, the fish could have a size, the fish could have, pero meron siyang sariling attributes na wala doon sa mga ibang, merong gills, no? Merong eyes, merong fins ang fish. So kaya i-declare po natin yung attributes niya na meron lang siya. And then, pwede na nating i-inherit yung iba, like the brain, the size, the weight, the gills, and then the brain, no? Weight, no? So, pero dadagdagan natin ng gills, eyes, and fins. So, yan po. And then, ang method na wala dito sa animal, no, eat, dito meron tayong eat, no? Meron tayong move. Fish, nilagyan natin siya ng separate lang sa distinct lang sa fish is the rest. Because a fish is resting, di po ba? So, fish that rest is called. Okay, naintindihan niyo po ba yung aking gustong iparating, no? The importance of inheritance. Okay? So, ano pa po ba? So, we have that fish. So, wala na. Okay. So, I hope po naintindihan po natin. So, balik po tayo. So, sa ating slide. Okay. So, quiz po tayo. Okay. So, number 1 question. Okay. So, number 1. You use the keyword inherits to achieve inheritance in Java. Is it true or false? Ang keyword ba na ginagamit natin for inheritance is inherits. Is it inherits? Is it true or false? The answer is, it is false. Bakit? Kasi po, di ba, ang ginagamit natin is extends, not the word, not the keyword inherits. The keyword is extends. Para we could achieve inheritance, we have to use extends after the class. Extends. No? So, yung syntax natin, public, class, the derived class, the keyword extends, and then the super class, okay, or the base class. Yun po siya. Okay, so number 2 question, when you use inheritance in Java, you can create a new class contains all the data and methods of an existing class. Is it true or false? Yes, it is true, no? So, pwede po nating makuha lahat ng kanyang methods and data, no? Attributes, pwede po nating magamit. Okay, so number 3. When you use inheritance, you save time and reduce errors. Is it true or false? The answer is, so, syempre po, di ba? We can save time kasi hindi na tayo magre-record because we have this so-called reusability. Ayan. So, these are my references. So, let's get ready. Imagine, start creating our own Java code. No? So, iwanan ko lang po ito. Okay, so, what's the object-oriented way to become wealthy? Yan. So, the answer is inheritance. No? So, kung meron pong magpapamana sa atin ng kayamanan, no? So, sigurado po yan. Wealthy po tayo because that is inheritance. Pero sana, yung pinaka-importanting inheritance po ang makuha natin, which is the education. Yan. Okay, so this is Tutor Bell together with Tutor Pao, Tutor Drive, and Tutor Lon. Lahat po kami ay from SDO Bataan. Every Friday po iyan from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. So lagi niyo po kaming subaybayan. For your any comments, pakiscan lang po yung QR code or click lang po yung link na nakikita nyo on the screen. Okay? So muli po, this is your Tutor Bell from SDO Bataan. No? So, magkita-kita po tayo next Friday for another ICT programming in Java. So, thank you very much po. Thank you. Bye! Bye po. Happy Friday. Happy weekend. Yan. Bye po.
Ang husay naman! Natapos mo ang iyong tutorial session kasama ang iyong mahusay na ETUlay tutor. May bago ka bang natutuhan? I-share na yan gamit ang hashtag ETUlay Level Up. Huwag aalis ha, dahil may susunod pang programa na pwede mo ring panoorin at salihan. Dahil naghihintay na ang iyong mga tutors. Happy learning dito sa ETUlay!